Okay.
Good morning, Jordan and Ashlyn. That's right. Firefighters got the call just at 2 o'clock this morning. They responded to this home at the corner of 15th Street and 4th Avenue South. As you can see behind me, there's a charred garage. I'll kind of step out the way so you can kind of see what happened. Firefighters say when they got on scene, they saw flames and smoke coming from the detached garage. Now, when I got here, you could kind of smell the scent of smoke, but it's since dissipated as the fire has been out for quite some time. But, you can see the door there is completely charred and the roof is charred. There's also ice coming off of the side of the garage as, the water was basically uh, submerged onto the garage to put this fire out. Firefighters say there were no injuries. Uh, the estimated damage for the garage is at least $10,000 to $15,000. Now they're still investigating what may be the cause of the fire here at this home. We'll have much more details as that information becomes available. Reporting live in Fargo, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Nishay, and thank you for that live look at the damage this morning. Again, keep up with Valley News Live online at valleynewslive.com.
6:51 right now. Let's get a check of your forecast. It is the first of two First Alert weather days. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yes, you see that behind me. First Alert weather days today and tomorrow for that latest clipper that's going to be taking over for today. This one just a little more powerful than our recent ones that have moved through. It's going to bring about more wind. That's going to be the overarching theme. And then also some of that wind accompanying snow. And that leads to trouble on those roads as we know it. So right now we actually have a little bit of light snow coming down. You can see it just barely showing up between Grand Forks and Fargo on our radar here in the valley. So don't be surprised if you run into some flurries or even a light snow shower on the roads here this morning. But this is not part of the main event. The main event coming in from the northwest. You can see a large area of snow in southern parts of Canada there, and that's going to be dropping in into northwestern North Dakota here shortly, and then eventually moving into our viewing area, approaching that Devil's Lake Basin first today. Probably around lunchtime and then beyond is when we need to be looking out for that snow and increasing wind. So morning hours pretty quiet. You can see some of these flurries flying by here in Fargo as traffic moves by along I-29 and the frontage roads there from our Luther Family Ford Skycam. Temperature 9 degrees, so a little cool. You'll want to bundle up. The wind's not a problem though for us yet. It's only 3 miles per hour this morning out of the southwest, so wind not a factor for us at the moment. And a reminder, sunrise now happening before 8 a.m. even as we're talking about more winter weather coming our way. It's nice to see spring inching its way toward us with those longer days. And here's a look at our bus stop planner. So this morning, not only for the bus stop, but just hitting the road and getting to work here today, it's going to be pretty quiet. But there are going to be some areas that end up with snow by the time the kids are heading home from school and the bus stop, or you're driving home from work here this evening. So make sure you have your snow gear and that survival kit with you, especially if you're going to be out driving out in open country here today. So that's going to be a factor for us. Fargo, we may not be seeing snow just yet at 3 p.m., but our counties to the west may be. So that snow, again, ramping up as we go into the evening hours tonight, continuing into early Friday, and then eventually the snow tapers off, but we'll still have the wind. And so that's going to blow around any of that snow that is falling or has fallen, picking it up and blowing it around into Friday. So we're looking at conditions that may end up being close to ground blizzard in some areas tomorrow morning with gusts that are up to about 50 miles per hour. We know that combo is not a good thing. And so then heading into the rest of the day, this is Arctic air blasting in, and so that takes over, and the rest of the weekend and beyond, we're looking at a forecast that is largely sub-zero. So be ready for the cold and, of course, the hazards that we'll be facing in the next 24 plus hours.
Be as ready as you can be for that Arctic air. We should say, wow, we're going to really be in for it next week. So thank you for the heads up, Lisa. All right, let's get a check of our road report with Jordan this morning.
Yeah, we want to give you a heads up on those roads as well. Lisa's saying that, it's coming in later today, but still this morning we got to watch out for some stuff. We know it snowed the other day, still cleaning up from that a bit this morning. I-29, though, from Canada down to Fargo, even just south of it, actually green seasonal conditions this morning. However, as you head towards Wahpeton on I-29, we're actually talking about some ice and some snow on the interstate there, so make sure that you are careful. I-94 is looking clear until you hit Jamestown. West of Jamestown is when we start to see ice, and then around Bismarck-Mandan, some snow, scattered snow on the roads there, so make sure you're careful. In our viewing area, though, the eastern part of the state, Dickey-Lemoore and the western portions of Ransom and Sargent Sargent counties are dealing with some ice on the road there, so make sure that you're careful. And then along with the western portions of Pembina County and then parts of Cavalier County this morning, they're dealing with some spotty snow-covered roads. Otherwise, everyone else basically looking green or seasonal in North Dakota. Minnesota this morning, you have some pretty clear sailing out there. Of course, it is still winter. Green means seasonal for the season. We know that ice can still be on the road. Right now, it looks like around Pelican Rapids, actually, this morning, if you're taking the interstate exit off of there, we have a bit of ice and snow on the road. As well, it looks like near Alexandria, we're talking about a crash just near Parker's Prairie. Actually, there's a crash on County Road 102. So watch out for that. Again, even though it says seasonal green on the map, still means we need to be careful when driving out there. And you can find the very latest road conditions throughout the day on your VNL weather app. Ashlyn?
All right, thank you, Jordan, for that update. New this morning, a man is dead after a snowmobile crash in central North Dakota. The Highway Patrol says the body of a 67-year-old man from Jackson, Minnesota, was found around 5 last night near the town of Bowdoin in Wells County. No details are available because police say there were no witnesses to that crash. A Mayville, North Dakota man who killed himself during a standoff with police last week was being investigated for child pornography. A newly unsealed search warrant filed by the State Bureau of Criminal Investigation says 59-year-old Steve Valla was under investigation since November after 23 files containing child porn were traced to his cell phone. That activity was reported to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Last week's standoff started when police were serving a search warrant on his property. The court filing indicates they found photos and videos showing adults engaging in sexual contact with children, mostly infants and toddlers. A Fargo woman in jail accused of vandalism at St. Mary's Cathedral in downtown Fargo. Police say 35-year-old Brittany Reynolds was caught on security cameras walking into the church topless and barefoot, knocking over a potted plant, then ripping a statue of Jesus off the wall and smashing it.
Police say officers caught her as she was running across the street. Reynolds is charged with criminal mischief. Damage is estimated at more than $11,000.
It's a very unique statue. It's also an old one. So to replace it could be difficult and costly. Some cost estimates have been over $10,000. We are having somebody look at it to see if it can be repaired, but if it can't be repaired, we would like to replace it, but that could be difficult.
Officers say Reynolds appeared to be under the influence of narcotics at the time of her arrest. A faulty block heater cord is being blamed for a fire that gutted a detached garage in Grand Forks. Crews found heavy smoke coming from that garage and flames inside.
There's significant damage to the building and a car that was parked inside during that fire. Smoking indoors has been illegal in North Dakota since 2012, but the State House is giving a thumbs up to a bill that would legalize cigar bars and lounges within the state. That proposal now heads to the Senate.
Budget cuts at NDSU are eliminating 34 jobs, including 2 dean positions. The number of colleges at the university will also drop from 7 to 5. The College of Math is merging with Science, and Human Services is merging with Education.
University President David Cook made that announcement yesterday. They say the cuts are effective on July 1st, and school leaders say more strategic reductions may be coming in the future.
Midwest Radio Fargo Moorhead stations are teaming up to raise money during the 23rd annual Cares for Kids Radiothon that starts today.
100% of funds raised stay local and go toward special programs, equipment purchases, and research and education for Sanford Children's Hospital. From the contest that brought us Betty Whiteout, Plowsaurus Rex, and Edward Blizzardhands comes the latest Name a Snowplow contest.
Yeah, there's some pretty creative ones there. The Minnesota DNR has narrowed the list of names from more than 10,000 that you submitted to just 60. That's what you're voting on right now. You can vote by clicking on this story on your VNL News app. That contest will go through February 3rd, and you can guarantee that once those winners are announced, we'll have them for you right here. And don't forget, Frostival is still going on in the Metro. Moorhead is having a kickoff tomorrow for kids and adults with live music, karaoke games, and more. Beyond the Wonderland event will feature snowball fights and fort building competitions.
There's also a hot dish feed if you want to hang out with your favorite news anchor, Jordan.
Hey, I'll be there.
He's the judge of that competition. A chili feed and the snow sculpture competition. Be sure to check out the details at valleynewslive.com.
Well, today's show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but thank you for joining us.
Take care, everybody.